Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's the best show ever here on 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia. And, man, it's time. We're counting down to game time. 6 hours and change away. Eagles versus Commanders in a game that matters for the first time in like 20-some years. The last time an Eagles-Commanders game actually mattered. I'm excited about it. And we gotta go ahead and dispel some myths today. We're going to talk about the game. I'm telling you, I'm excited. This is good. Now, I don't love that this game's on a Thursday, but other than that, I'm ready. Now, let's get to our word of the day on this Therapy Thursday, and hopefully tonight we don't all need therapy. Our word of the day is control, because if the Eagles win tonight, they take control of the NFC East, and they can start thinking about the 1 seed. If they were to lose tonight, it's not a must-win. You can still recover. You play them again. You be 2-1 in the division. But you give a lot of that control back to Washington. Control. They can take full control of the NFC East with a win. You're already one up on the win column as it is. Like when they were quoted ahead of the Eagles, it was just because they haven't had their bye week yet. It's not because they were somehow better than the Eagles so far. Now the Eagles are ahead. You'd be 1.5 games ahead of them. You'd be 3-0 in the division. And while you have some tough games remaining, you got a whole bunch of winnable games too. You get to play the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Panthers all ahead, and you'd already be at 8. You'd already be at 8 wins. I feel I'm not going to do this whole you never know in the division. You get the Giants and the Cowboys at home next. You get the Panthers. You win tonight, and you know you're going to win at least 11 games. At least 11 games. You really can start to lay out how the season's going to go if they take care of their business tonight. And I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I'm not saying they're going to win comfortably. But I am saying right at the top of the show that they're going to win the game and get to 8-2. And who would have thunk it back when it was 2-2 during the bye, when there was rightful concern that now they're in full control of what's going on. And I don't believe, by the way, that Detroit's going 16-1. So you can be right there for the 1 seed. I don't know how we got here. I don't care how we got here. But where we are right now against a team that has been overachieving, but have a rookie quarterback and not an overwhelming defense, and their new acquisition is not playing tonight. Ricky Bo, I can't help but feel good about where the Eagles are.
Yeah, you should feel pretty good about the Eagles. I think the Eagles could have their way offensively in this game. I mean, when you think about it, the Commanders are not good on run defense, so that opens up Saquon Barkley right there, which, as we all know, once the running game gets cooking, it opens up everything else in the passing lanes. And I think Jalen Hurts will have his typical managerial type game where he might throw a couple touchdown passes, score one on a tush push, and then Saquon will probably go over 100 yards in this one. The one thing I'm going to be watching is the defense, how they contain Jaden Daniels, how they try to keep him inside the tackles. That's one guy that we haven't seen a lot of these type of guys yet this year that could really run the football. He's a Lamar Jackson type where he could pass the ball. He also could run the ball, and he runs the ball well. So, I mean, in a game like this, the one thing I'm just looking for is execute. If the Eagles execute, especially defensively, I think they could win this game pretty handily.
They could. Now, Washington has been good. They got good weapons.
Great offense.
That's where I don't go quite all that far.
Well, they scored 27 against a really good defense in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was without a great game from Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, they scored 27 points against – I don't know if that's a great defense of the Steelers. I will find out. I'm interested in how many points the Eagles score when they play the Steelers.
Yeah, that's true, too.
I'm interested to see how many points Baltimore scores on the Steelers. I'm interested. I'm also looking at some of Washington's games because what I'm hearing out there, and I want to dispel this myth, is this is a much better team. This is much tougher competition. Okay, so let's look at Washington. Their best win so far, now the Eagles' best win is the Packers. Okay, that's their best win so far on paper. And it counts. I know some people just want to pretend like, oh, they haven't beat anybody. The Packers are their best win. Meanwhile, Washington's best win so far this season is Arizona. That's their best win. They've lost to the good teams they've played so far this season. They've lost to the Steelers. They didn't beat the Steelers. Nope. They lost to the Steelers. How do we know that this is this big jump in competition? You can't only look at the record. You also have to look at who the teams play, especially if you're going to do it with the Eagles. People have used the Eagles' schedule as a way to down these Eagles. Oh, you guys, they're not contenders. You guys don't know what you're talking about. It's because of who they've played. So Washington, who have they beaten that's so much better?
They haven't.
They lost to the Bucs, and they had everybody. Eagles did not have everybody. They lost to the Bucs. They lost to the Ravens. Now, don't just I'm saying, but they lost to them. It's not like they played the Ravens and beat them. And they lost to the Steelers. Those are their losses. And their best win is Arizona. Are we sure this is this big quantum leaping competition, or are the Eagles just better than them like they've been better than everybody else the last 5 weeks?
I think the Eagles could be just flat out better than them right now. I mean, when it all comes down to it, the schedule is going to look the same. They have a pretty easy. The Commanders have a pretty easy schedule after this, except for the Eagles game, the second Eagles game. So I mean, I really believe that it could come down to tonight's game. If the Eagles come out on top, I think that's just a huge step in the right direction. Like you said, there's 3 other wins that you could pretty much post on the board right now for the Eagles. And if I just need them to continue clicking. I think a lot of things have gone well since the bye week. A lot of things have taken steps up instead of going backwards with direction. And when that continues to happen, I think you end up in a really good spot as the season goes on. I just look at this Commanders team, and you have to still wonder, can Jaden Daniels continue to go like he's been going all season long? And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that question right now, but I think the Eagles defense can't stop him. And if you stop him, you pretty much stop the Commanders.
This is where I do feel comfortable, though, saying. Yesterday we were comparing this year's team so far to the 10-1 last year before it fell apart. And I've heard Sylvana was adamant about how much more fun this is.
Yep.
If you're right, a rookie quarterback doesn't kick their butt tonight. Because let me tell you something. If you can't beat this rookie quarterback, you're going to have trouble against the Rams. You're going to have trouble against Baltimore. You're going to have trouble against any veteran quarterback. If this rookie quarterback tears you apart, Vic Fangio better have something that this rookie hasn't seen. So I want to take that ride. I want to take that plunge. I believe that they are contenders. If they are, and I believe they are, and I'm not saying he has to throw 4 picks or fumble 7 times or anything like that, but if Vic Fangio doesn't have a wrinkle that can confuse a rookie quarterback, even a good one, how are they going to beat Russell Wilson later in the year? How are they going to beat Lamar? How are they going to beat Stafford? They do have some good quarterbacks left on the schedule. Now, they made some good adjustments against Burrow, and they ended up winning that game.
Yep.
As long as they can do the same thing, then I'm all on board. But if somehow they can't, then I'll have some concerns. Not because they lost one game, because I already said the way the schedule's set up, they can recover from a loss to Washington as long as they beat them the second time, et cetera, et cetera. But you will not be able to recover from good quarterbacks being comfortable against this defense. So that's where I think I'm looking at the most. If they can't slow down Jaden Daniels, then that means all of a sudden a bunch of games that we thought might be wins could easily be L's. If they can slow him down, then boom. The other part that can work in the Eagles' favor is, while Washington's schedule does appear easy, they should have lost to the Bears. They didn't. Credit to them for that Hail Mary and the idiot guy who didn't play the ball after he was taunting the crowd like a moron. It shows you, though, that Washington, like any other team, can play down to their competition.
Yes.
So just because a game looks easy on paper now doesn't mean they won't trip up down the stretch because of how new this all is for them. So you already will have 1.5 games on them if you beat them. They very well may lose a game they're not supposed to down the stretch because they should have lost that Bears game. And usually when you play with fire that much, usually that does catch up to you. So I'm excited about this game. because of the opportunity to take control. But I need to know the anxiety level of the people out there. Are we just hyped for this game? Are we nervous for this game? I need you guys to tell me, because I'm just hyped. I'm not nervous.
Yeah, I don't feel the nerves. I don't feel any nerves in this game. I just feel like the Eagles are going to go out and have this is like a business game to them. I think this is big for them. I think they understand that. I think they understand the intensity that has to be brought tonight, the adrenaline that has to be brought on that field. They're going to get a ton of it down the street in South Philly tonight. Those people are going to be ready. And it's a game you can't really go. I know they've never seen them before. That might be the only thing going in Washington's favor. They've never seen the quarterback before.
He's never seen this defense before.
He's never seen them either. That's why I think you're absolutely right. Vic's got to throw something a little screwy at him early on in the ball game to try to throw him off, to show him things that he hasn't seen before, that he has to readjust in the game. And we'll see what kind of a quarterback he is, if he can readjust during a game or not. That's where I think it all lies. I think it all lies on this defense. I think, like I said, I think the offense is going to score their share of points. They're going to do their job. The one thing that you have to believe in is that your defense has gotten better every week, and they're going to continue this week.
Well, so this brings you to the next question. Quinyon and Cooper DeJean have been lights out.
Yep.
The one thing we haven't seen is either one of those guys within a game get burnt and then recover. We haven't seen that yet. It's been going well for them. I'm not saying maybe it goes well for them once again. But Washington does have some weapons. How will they react if they do get beat on a play or two? That's something to watch. The other part is...
if they do.
Yeah, if they get beat. Also, Dotson. Now, he's got to... players lie all the time. Oh, it's just another game. He's got to be thinking about some revenge. He seems like he's gotten Jalen Hurts' trust because he now seems to be getting open. Does he make a game-altering play against his old team to say, you guys made a mistake trading me? Or does he disappear again, and they're on the other sideline going, hey, Howie, I thought you were the best GM in the world. We stole a third-rounder for you for a guy that stinks. I'm interested in that part, that element of this game.
You know what I question? You know how Nick is. You saw Saquon go back. Saquon had the game of his life. Does he try to get Jahan Dotson a touchdown in this game somehow, some way?
I don't like that.
You don't think so?
If he does that, he's an idiot.
I don't know. Nick seems to be like that. He's got that soft spot.
It's easy when it's Saquon.
Maybe if they have like a large margin of points, maybe then.
Yes,
but I don't think they'll
I got a
force
weird feeling he scores a touchdown
It's
tonight.
very different for Saquon. Maybe he just scores one organically.
Yeah.
But I got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Goddard in my full offensive line, and I'm worried about getting Dotson a touchdown.
I don't think Jalen would sign off on that.
Hell no.
He's not forcing no ball to Dotson in the end zone with the chance to score.
Saying.
3-4
No, that's psycho. It's one thing when Saquon's got 177 yards, he goes, hey, you want a couple more carries? Just otherwise I'm going to take the starters out. That's a different thing. Because now it's one thing if Dotson has 100 yards in the game and they're up by 40, like you're saying, Sylvana, and they go, hey, you want us to throw you a fade route, try to get you one? That's different. But in a competitive game, if Nick Sirianni, I've been a fan of Nick Sirianni for the most part this year. If he tries to force a touchdown to Dotson in the first half of this game, they should fire his behind during the game. That should not be on his mind at all to get Dotson. It should not be getting Dotson a damn touchdown.
No, usually he's in his three game grace period right now, so I don't think that'll happen.
If he tries to do that, then that means he's got to go.
This is 2. Oh.
This is 2. So we're still in the 3 game grace
Then you got the
period.
Rams, and then he'll do something screwy against Baltimore.
Yeah, that would make sense too.
But the best part about this game is the control of the NFC East. Now, they have that stupid stat where no team has repeated all these years. Well, Dallas won it last year. They ain't repeating. The winner of this game, in my opinion, the winner of this game will be winning the NFC East. You have full control. If you win this game tonight, you're the better team. You're headed in the right direction, and you're at home. Just go out there and show it. And for a lot of the skeptics that said they got to beat somebody real, well, I don't necessarily know for sure Washington's quote-unquote real. The skeptics do think they're real. So if they go out there and win this one, then hopefully tomorrow on Football Friday, it's a celebration where we finally get everybody 100% on board on the bandwagon.
That would put everybody on board.
Well, we'll
they
see.
win this game. There shouldn't be anybody that isn't on board if they win this game tonight.
I mean, I agree.
Although we also know they could win 35-0 and somebody will find something wrong with it.
Yeah, yep. I'm telling you, the control of the game, to me, of the whole division, early in the year, I mean, fairly early, to be 10 games in and say, you know what, I feel comfortable about the division. That is not something that happens all the time around here. This will start to feel like shades of some of the other really good years, like it was in 2004, like it was during the Super Bowl year when Wentz was still healthy, like it was during 2022. If you get out to 8-2 and 3-0 in your division with only one of those division games at home, you got a real chance to do some special things. But 7-3, second place, got a big L.A. trip coming up, and then Baltimore. Now you get yourself into the muck. You don't want to be in the muck. You don't want to be down there with the hogs splashing around. You don't want to be down there in the mud and the muck. That's gross. All right? That's disgusting. You want to be up above it all and let everybody else be down there. And this is the chance they have tonight, in about 6 hours. Now, for the people that don't know, because this comes up and people are going to call Dylan, yes, you can watch the game on Amazon, because Thursday Night Football is on Amazon. But locally, you can watch it on Fox, I believe. So you can still watch it even if you can't stream. So you don't have to call Dylan. You can watch the game tonight. Now, let me ask you guys one thing. Mm-hmm. It's about the defense. What percentage chance, and you can't say zero, what percentage chance is it that the defense has looked good because the other teams have been bad? Because that's something that's out there. And you guys have been excited for this ride.
No.
You can't say zero.
I could say 10.
10% chance?
I'd say 10%.
Ricky, what percent?
I would go
chance?
a little higher. I'd probably go 15-20. I just don't think that. I mean, they faced guys like Joe Burrow. They didn't shut him down, but they did a nice job there.
They almost.
I just don't. Yeah, no.
Their total.
I'll say 15% at the most.
Their total defense is good, and the way that they've been in the red zone has also been incredible. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm looking to that reassures me is that they may allow you to get in the red zone, but you're not walking away with 7 a lot of the time when you get there.
That's the Fangio style where you can move it in between the 20s and then they toughen up. That's the style when it's ran the way it's supposed to be ran.
Bend but don't break.
Yeah, that's what he's about.
Seems like they know where the ball is going to be this year, and they're finally forcing away some balls.
I think that's because they have athletic guys. They got guys that are smart
around.
And they're smart football players. They know when to look for the ball. There's a lot of and that's kind of just happened though. I mean, in the last 4 weeks of turnovers.
Last 3 weeks.
The 3 weeks of turnovers have come, and that comes from knowing who you're standing next to. Also,
yeah, they haven't played down to their opponent.
And some of it also with turnovers, unfortunately, is luck.
Definitely.
Yeah. Ball's got to bounce.
They've got to bounce your way. It didn't for a long time. They had the second longest streak in NFL history, now forcing 2 turnovers. Last 3 games, they have forced 10 turnovers. 610-632-0975. The word of the day today is control. It's all in front of the Eagles. Win tonight, you are full control of the NFC East, and you can start thinking about being the number 1 seed in the NFC, period. Because the division that the Detroit Lions play in is just a flat, tougher division with both Minnesota and Green Bay in it compared to this division, especially if you beat everybody already. You lose this game, and you do not have that same control. And that's why it's a big game. It's not a must-win like some said, but it's an important game coming up in 6 hours. We'll be talking about it the whole time. We'll get your fantasy football from Eric Carabell. We'll help you make a couple of dollars with Kevin Todd later on as well here on 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia.